From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, son.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Good morning, everyone. Can you smell that in the air? No, it's not the smoke. I know, yeah, we can all smell that, but I can get a little hint of Friday in there as well. Yes, it is Friday. The weekend is almost here. And overall, when we kind of look at just the overall comfort, you should be okay. It's not going to be too hot outside. It's going to be cold, especially in the morning hours. But the winds, that's something we got to monitor and watch here very closely. We'll get into all that here in a second. But it's going to be cooler temperatures. The cooler daytime highs are going to be sticking around with cold overnight lows. Gusty north winds, as I was talking about, but mainly for the weekend. But rain, not looking all that promising until probably closer to the end of next week. So let's take a look at that trend with the overnight lows. And yes, it's pretty cold, even in the valley. This morning, one of the coldest for the valley, and then it's kind of trending a little bit higher, or not as cold, let's put it that way, for the weekend and into next week, but still cold nonetheless. And of course, very cold temperatures for the mountains. In fact, for parts of Modoc County, we're talking about temperatures in the low teens. And for the North Coast, yeah, even upper 30s by Saturday, but overall, you're looking at those temperatures much colder for many of the higher elevations. In fact, there still are all kinds of freeze and frost alerts out there. For this morning until 10 a.m., a frost advisory for Del Norte and western Humboldt County, a freeze warning for eastern Humboldt County and also western Siskiyou County until about 9 o'clock this morning. But we still need to take the necessary precautions for all of the other areas outside of the warnings, because temperatures there are also going to be cold. There are going to be freezes. There's going to be areas of frost as well that are not in a frost advisory, including parts of the valley. So if you live in the valley, just take the necessary precautions out there. There you can see, this is what it looks like here for today. You know, still a little smoky out there, I think, this morning, and the smoke from the prescribed burn that we saw yesterday, that will probably linger around into today, giving us some smoky and hazy skies, although we should probably see improving conditions for the second half of the day today. And then, of course, for Siskiyou, Modoc County, we're looking at temperatures mid-50s, and in the eastern mountains, mid to upper 50s for your daytime highs. And for the North Coast, some of that fog out there this morning, otherwise clearing again this afternoon with mid-50s. There you can see mainly sunny skies inland. Low 60s there, low 60s also in Trinity County. We switch gears now. We're talking about cold temperatures, and now we're going to talk about the fire danger. All of this area in here is under a fire weather watch for gusty winds and low humidity for both Saturday and Sunday. We're going to take you all the way out into Saturday, and we're going to show you here at 6 a.m., especially for the foothills east of the valley. The north and west side of the valley was where I expect some of the strongest gusts. Now, you can see these gusts are going to be upwards of around close to 30, even 40 miles per hour in some spots here throughout the day on Saturday. And then this will probably continue on into your Sunday as well. And the humidity levels, they're also dropping, in fact, significantly down into the single digits below 10%. Even close to 5% for places like Redding. So let's just be extra careful out there for both Saturday and Sunday when it comes to that fire danger. Taking a look at Futurecast, it's dry through the weekend and really dry through at least the middle of next week. I'm expecting somewhere around Thursday or Friday, we may start to see the potential for some more wet weather in the forecast. Nothing guaranteed at this point. In fact, I haven't even included it in the 7-day forecast yet. But as we get closer to the end of next week, we'll probably get a better handle on when that rain should arrive next week. But it's looking pretty promising. We're seeing some consistency in that overall trend toward the end of next week. Wave heights, as you can see here for today, between 6 and 7 feet. I am expecting an increase in those wave heights just by a little bit here as we take you into Saturday afternoon. So your marine forecast for today, northeast winds at 5 to 10 knots. There's your high tide at 11:35 this morning, and your low tide at 5:47 this afternoon at minus 0.3 feet. All right, so here's your forecast for today. It's going to be another mild day out there in the valley. Again, a little hazy, especially this morning, but that smoke and haze should dissipate for the afternoon. Mid-60s for your highs in the valley. 50s for most of us in the higher elevations, especially out towards Siskiyou County and the eastern mountains. For Trinity County and the inland areas, low 60s, and for the coast, in the mid to upper 50s. All right, so let's take a look at your 7-day outlook, and what we're going to see here is not much change in those temperatures as we go through the week. It's going to be just a slight increase, though, as we go into the beginning of next week, especially for the valley. That's where we're going to notice the 70s by Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, even Wednesday, and then that slight drop on Thursday. Now, as you'll notice, there are no raindrops for anyone on Thursday, including the mountains and the coast, but that may change. If you have outdoor plans or anything that involves being outside toward the end of next week, keep a close eye on the forecast because we could be talking about the potential for some rain. But again, until then, it does remain dry. Looking at your 7-day outlook for the North Coast, temperatures low 60s, inland 70s by the time we get to Sunday, Monday, and even Tuesday and Wednesday, and even some 70s for Weaverville and Trinity County by the beginning of next week.